Hey everyone, Gibran here with Blanc Hammer Appraisals. And today, I want to talk about what's really happened in Houston's housing market this past month. You've probably seen the national headlines: housing market cooling off, prices dropping, buyers on pause, 2008 is back, a market crash is imminent. But to be honest with you, we just don't see it the same way. And especially for Houston, the story is a lot more balanced. Inventory is up, yes, but sales are still climbing. Prices have softened slightly, but demand hasn't disappeared. It's not a meltdown, it's a market finding its rhythm and finding a state of stability after a wild ride in 2021. So let's dive into the numbers and see what they mean for buyers, sellers, and lenders heading into the final stretch of 2025. Nationally, many markets are slowing down. Prices in some metro areas are off by 5 to 10% from their peaks. And places like Austin, Texas have seen prices drop as much as 25% in some areas. Buyers there seem to be waiting for rates to drop and watching the market in a free fall. But Houston is playing by its own rules. According to HAR, single-family home sales actually rose 5.3% year over year in September. That's 7,399 homes sold, up from 7,025 last year. This seems really counterintuitive since the market feels slower, but home sales are rising, and that's exactly what we're seeing. The median price slipped just 2.1% to $327,000, while the average price inched up 2% to $421,000 thanks to a strong luxury segment. This price slip in the mid-tier pricing also seems to be a symptom of rising inventory. So even though you may hear or even feel like it isn't, Houston isn't crashing. It's rebalancing and stabilizing. So let's talk about this inventory issue and how it is having such a profound effect. Active listings are up 28.5% from last year, around 38,000 homes available. Months of inventory expanded to 5.2 months, up from 4.3 a year ago. And nationally, we're at about 4.6 months, so Houston's a little bit on the high side. Homes are spending about 55 days on market versus 52 last year. And that tells me one thing. What we're perceiving as a slowing market is really just buyers finding more options out there with more homes available, and homes are moving more slowly, and the price increases we're used to seeing are disappearing with this amount of inventory. Also, remember, we haven't seen this level of inventory in Houston in more than 7 years. So it definitely isn't something most people are used to. Now let's talk about price segments, because not every range is moving the same way. Homes under $250,000 are back in demand. Sales in the $150 to $249 range jumped 25% year over year. Now, it's pretty surprising considering this segment looked nearly non-existent a year ago. The mid-tier, $250K to $499, which makes up over half of our market, slipped 1.3%. Now remember, these are your FHA, first-time home buyers, and the new affordable or starter home segment. Inflation seems to finally be taking its toll on these buyers. Then we move to the luxury tiers, $500,000 to $999, and that was up 3.7%. And the million plus bracket was the most surprising, surging 27%. So that's right, luxury buyers are still buying, and with more ferocity than ever. That tier seems to be the most insulated from interest rates and general inflation. So what does this all mean for buyers, sellers, and lenders? Well, if you're buying, this is your window. Rates have eased up a bit, inventory is up, and there's room to negotiate. If you're selling, remember today's buyers, they're going to be smarter. They're going to look at every comp. They're going to spot overpricing instantly. So price realistically, stage your home intentionally, and keep your presentation tight. If you're a lender or investor, remember that opportunities right now are going to be abundant. With higher inventory, you should see lower home prices, especially within the distressed home segment. For lenders, this means more deals to fund as well. But be disciplined in your strategy and stay in the lane that you know best. Lenders and investors will be rewarded nicely for smart and disciplined deals. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, when you hear housing correction, take it with a grain of salt. Nationally, some markets are dropping hard, but Houston's story is different. We're still adding jobs. Our cost of living is lower, and families keep moving here. We don't see the giant spikes, but we also don't see the giant drops either. Houston's doing what it always does best, staying steady while the rest of the country swings. And speaking of Houston, let's talk about something incredibly important for us here locally: flood insurance. With the federal government shutdown, this temporarily halts new national flood insurance program policies. These are your FEMA policies, and some buyers are hitting speed bumps in closings. That's something unique to our market, especially in neighborhoods that sit near bayous or in federal flood zones. So if you're under contract right now, double check your lender's flood coverage timeline. And if you're listing a property, get ahead of those questions early. Knowledge can make deals happen, and lack of knowledge can break deals. So what are some things we can consider going forward? First, watch mortgage rates. Nobody has a crystal ball, but we do know the federal government wants these lower. With a potential privatization of Freddie and Fannie, who knows exactly where they'll go? Keep track of inventory. If it continues to rise, expect those days on market to continue to go up and prices to potentially continue to fall. The winter months tend to be the slowest, but with more homes selling this month, year over year, we aren't exactly sure what the market may do in Q4. Overall, Houston seems to be in a good position to weather the storm and do what we always do: stay resilient in the face of national worry. So that's your October market breakdown, powered by HAR September data and our own analysis here at Blanc Hammer. If you want a snapshot for your zip code or neighborhood, reach out. I'll build it for you. If this helped you, hit like. It really helps the channel. Share it with a colleague and follow for next month's update. Make sure and follow me on Instagram at Lone Star Appraiser. And until next time, stay smart, stay ready, and keep an eye on Houston. I'm Gibran with Blanc Hammer Appraisals. We'll see you next time.